How's it going? My name's Ayan Ahmad, and I like cybersecurity. And I've just recently finished a project of mine. I've always wanted to learn Terraform, and this was my way of implementing Terraform and cybersecurity at the same time. So, over here, I have built so we're gonna be implementing an Azure Honeypot in the cloud. And the way I've done that is with Terraform, and I've uploaded this onto my GitHub, and anybody can all they have to do is, no joke, just make sure you have Terraform installed on your computer, and then you have the Azure CLI also installed on your computer, and then all you have to do is just git clone my GitHub repository, and then inside you'll have these files. So you're going to have a main.tf. This is where I've done, so we're creating an Azure virtual network, a resource group. You can change all these things in variables.tf, that's up to you, but you don't really have to. This is more like a one click and it's done. So here, these are all the cool things that I've installed, like the public IPs, not installed, or I've written moreover, like the Azure security network groups. And then this is the really cool stuff. So it automatically just creates, it'll download the Teapot by Telecom Security, which is the coolest teapot or honeypot that I've seen that's around. And it will automatically provision it for you. So all you have to do is just log into the honeypot. So now that we have the code, let's just do a tf plan. Alright, it looks like all these things are provisioning, and then we're just going to do a tf apply. That's it. That's all you have to do to get this honeypot running. Say yes right here. Now, it takes about 5 minutes to deploy. But there is a small issue. So I've recently learned Terraform, and my remote exec provision, so when I'm connecting to so I have a null resource, right? And this null resource is its only purpose is to install the teapot onto the VM. But the one issue is that when I create the public IP, right here, where is it? Right. I create the public IP, but sometimes it just doesn't connect to my Azure VM by itself. And then down here I also have, it depends on all these things, but it just doesn't wait for my public IP. Yeah, see, you can see it fail right here. It doesn't wait for my public IP to be provisioned before it goes on to the next step. So a workaround for this is you just kind of do tf apply one more time, and then it starts installing the honeypot. As to why it does this, I have no clue. I've asked around on a couple, what's that called? Like, groups online that are about Terraform. I haven't gotten a response back, but I will let you know, like, the second I get a response, I'll fix the code so that you don't have to do tf apply again. But I will be back once it is done. Alright, so now that it's fully deployed, you can see that once the code ends, there's going to be an outputs file. And if the outputs don't come up automatically, all you have to do is just tf outputs, and it should print out all the outputs again. Now, to SSH into the VM after you do the honeypot install, what's going to happen is you have to SSH on the port 64295. But to be honest, you don't really need to SSH into the VM because there's going to be, this is more like a dev test, you know? So here, now we can go to the website that it's hosting. Let's copy this and paste it. And the username is Azure user and the password is hello honey. So Azure username Azure user and then hello honey. Cool, now we're in. We're into our honeypot. Now if we go to the attack map, this is kind of cool. So in about a second, we're gonna have a bunch of points populated onto the map. And it's going to show you, there we go. Alright, so it looks like Argentina was the first one to attack our honeypot. And this is like a nice dashboard where it shows you all the different attacks and from where they're happening. So let's just give this a little bit more time for other people to start attacking it. But in the meantime, what you could do is you could go back here, and then here we can go to Kibana. And these are all like the really cool dashboards that have been built that you could use and see and practice querying. These are all the different honeypots, but to see a dashboard that aggregates all the data from all these honeypots, it's going to be the Teapot Live attack map. And inside this, here, let's get rid of all this information. Yeah. Now we can see who else joined into. Here, let's go back to the attack map. Who else joined in on the fun? All right. This looks like the United States. This, where is this guy? Unknown reputation, and it also gives you the public IP addresses. Excuse me. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could have this honeypot in your production environment, and then any of these IP addresses that attack your honeypot, you could just immediately add to the deny list onto your firewalls so that none of these bad actors will even have access to your actual internet, or sorry, your actual network than they do the honeypot. So you can be more secure that way. It's a pretty quiet day. Usually I'm getting harassed by many people with my honeypot. But yeah, so these are the cool dashboards that you can see. And then if you wanted to, what you could do is use Spiderfoot inside of the teapot, and you could do reconnaissance on specific IPs that you've chosen. So if we run the scan, it's going to take a little bit to run, so I'll be back when the scan is done, and I'll show you all the cool data that Spiderfoot gets. Alright, so the scan is done, and we can now see the data that Spiderfoot got for us. So we can see that the affiliate IP address is blacklisted IP address. Huh. Okay, so it looks like these guys are known bad actors. And if this wasn't a production environment, you could blacklist these guys so that your environment would be safer. That's one less IP attacking your things, or your network. Yeah, so this project is really cool and to be considered malicious by multiple sources. Wow, this is pretty cool. So, if you're into cybersecurity, I think this is a great project for you to try out, to test, to innovate. If you see any way that you could fix my code, go for it. Have fun. This is pretty cool. This is some cool stuff, and hopefully you do this in your free time to show how much you love cybersecurity. Well, thank you guys. This has been a lot of fun, and I'll see you with the next project.